The news doesn't even report this. There's a whole third area. Look at that. The news is very misleading.
See what happens when it breaks, when the shit breaks loose.
Just the enormous amount of people. Portland police hard at work.
I don't know how they
It is.
Wow. Probably the same guy who's shooting somebody later tonight. God,
Are you sure this is the third area?
Yeah, watch. Come on. Look, see, remember the paintings there?
Okay.
See? And then there's the big white area.
Well, that's the one we were at.
And then that's the third one there.
This one's like new, basically, kind of.
Well, I don't think it's new. I just don't think the news was reporting it.
Wow, that's all crazy.
I think that's where everyone's watching, isn't it? Is that why they're there?
Probably.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Tax error.
Huh?
Why is being evicted tonight?
Yeah.
Because the people that ran this made a huge tactical error.
What?
Well, on the camera, you cannot have a proper revolt against the 1% and run a soup kitchen, a drug rehab center, and a homeless refugee camp at the same time. I'm all for homeless. I think we should have universal a roof for everybody. But you can't. You got people with mental health problems. You got addicts out here. What this did is sent a message to the rest of the 99% that these people are dirty, that they're disorganized, that they're a health hazard. Imagine a functioning tent city and saying, look, this is how we do it with activist tables and everything. This is a mess. This was a mess. Who would eat at that kitchen? You couldn't pay me to eat at that kitchen. Now, I think we should all have housing for everybody, but you cannot run a rehab center and a homeless shelter and a revolt at the same time.
Yeah.
You can't do it. It's a tactical error.
Yeah.
And there was trying to be nice to
But
everybody.
in their defense, that there's already homeless, and this is my first time down here, so I know nothing about it.
It's not their fault.
Yeah.
They have nowhere else to go. If I was homeless, I'd be here too. It's a safe place. It's better than the shelter.
Yeah.
It's absolutely right. It's not the homeless fault.
Yeah. But it's no reason. The homeless are already here. The drug addicts are already here.
absolutely right.
How many ODs go on down in Portland anyways on a daily basis?
There was 200 people in Oregon who OD'd last year. 87 of those were in Multnomah County.
And how many were reported?
Well, those are the ones that were reported.
Oh.
That's from the state
On the
coroner's
news.
office.
I mean, on the news.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know, but from the news, not very many.
Yeah, there
but
you
from
go.
the state coroner's office, that's how many there were,
Yeah.
which averages out to approximately 1 death in Oregon from overdose every 1.8 days, and 1 death in Multnomah County every 4.2 days.
Yeah.
There were 25 murders, 250 rapes, and 2,000 violent assaults in the city of Portland. In August of this year, in 1 week, there were 4 stabbings in the city of Portland. Violence is nothing new.
Yeah.
When you have a community this size, you're going to have problems.
Lots of them.
But what was happening and what happened was all the negatives were reported and none of the perspective was reported. How many things didn't happen in this camp?
Yeah.
How many bits of violence didn't happen that normally would have? How many homeless people were fed that normally wouldn't have been fed? How many of those people were given support and had safety that normally wouldn't have had support and safety? How many rapes were avoided because there was other people in the camp to stand around and prevent these things from happening? Those are the things that were not reported. Those are the things that weren't talked about. Yeah, there was 3 ODs here. 3 people who didn't die, who would have died if they had been somewhere else, but they didn't die because they were in this camp. Because they were protected, because the state doesn't protect them, the government doesn't protect them, the people in this camp protected them. But all the media could do, because the media is owned and operated by the 1%, was to talk about that and talk about all the violence and everything else. And unfortunately, no one else around here has any sort of say or voice to say, this is a lie, this is a lie, this is a lie. Only the people can do that. Only the people can get together one at a time and talk to their families, talk to their friends, talk to everyone around them and state, this is a lie. This isn't, we didn't create these problems. I did say it tonight.
No, tonight people can revolt tonight in the street.
Oh, it's all
look
good,
what's
man.
happening in Greece. These people are deluded that, like Malcolm X said, these people, and I'm not for violence, but these people only understand one language. They use brute force around the world. They kill people in Libya and in Iraq and Afghanistan, in Yemen, drones all over the world. These people don't understand. I'm talking about the 1%, the police. They don't understand kumbaya and holding candles.
It doesn't matter what they understand. You cannot use violence against violence. Two wrongs never make a right.
Hey, look, we would have never had civil rights in this country if people weren't firing from rooftops and
Rosa
black
Parks
soldiers
sat on a bus.
in the military, and they were afraid that our soldiers would turn their weapons on
Two
their
wrongs never make a right.
Hey, man.
They never make a right.
We're all
two
needed.
wrongs
We're all
is two
needed. All I'm
wrongs.
saying is people get pissed. It's not time to kumbaya.
It doesn't mean
and hold hands.
It's not a matter of
time
kumbaya.
is to get pissed because people are
pissed.
dying. We got 5+ military conflicts, dropping bombs
And if you're
drones
concerned about
on
people
Somali.
dying, your answer is to go and kill more people?
No, I'm not
Two
for
wrongs
killing
never
anybody,
make
but
a
I'm
right.
for rumbling.
Violence
I'm
is
for
wrong.
getting pissed.
You can't
I'm
do
not
it
for
through
killing
violence.
a single person.
You have to do it through community effort. You have to do it through voice.
Hey,
you have
that's
to do
not
it through
work.
conversation.
It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked.
It hasn't been done.
It's time to put a fucking trash bin in the middle of the street and do what they do
It
in
doesn't
Greece.
solve all
That's what
trash
we need to
bin.
do.
All that
No,
does,
because that's what
all
they
that
pay
does is
attention
give the
to.
voice
That's
to the
what they
media
pay
to say,
attention to.
see, we
Bullshit.
told you.
Bullshit. I'm
We
not
told
talking about
you. All
hooliganism.
that
I'm talking about tactics. You want to know what went wrong in this camp? I'll tell you what went wrong in this camp. They tried to make it a drug rehab center and a homeless camp.
No, they didn't try
and
to do
a
that.
soup kitchen, which I support because I support the homeless, but you can't have a revolt and run a rehab center at the same time. And what it did was it showed the rest of the 99% that this place is disorganized. It's a health hazard, and it was a health hazard. It was disgusting in there, all right? Nobody wants to come down there and sleep or camp. Look at the activist camps in Europe. They don't look like this. This looks like a refugee camp. A little self-criticism here. I'm all for the homeless, but this looks like a fucking disgrace. Imagine a tent city with activist tables in a functioning city inside a city. What kind of message would that send? It says this is a disgrace. Look at that. It looks like a fucking third world refugee camp.
What kind of message
Where's
does
the
it
money
send when the
to do
voices
that?
of
It's not about
inclusion
money, it's about organization, it's about leadership. Everyone here wanted to say, oh, let's just bring everyone in. We need, it's not democracy, it's called tactics, it's strategy. You can't have a revolt just sitting down and just being disorganized.
What I mean by where's the money is the government has our money.
This ain't
Where's
about
our money
it's
to
about
fund?
people power. We don't have
Where's
any
our money to fund this?
We don't have money.
Where's our money
Forget
to fund us?
That's the problem.
Our
with
Social
America.
Security, where is it?
That's the
Where's
problem.
Social
I am on
Security?
your side, man.
Where's
But we
Social
have to-
Security? I want to make sure that my kids get my
But we
tax
don't have
money
money.
that
That's
the
the whole
state
point.
is
We
taking
need
from
people
me.
power and
I work,
You
I come
understand?
down here, I'm for the cause. So nothing
We
has to
don't
be
have
violent. Everybody's
money.
just got to be
That's
straight
the problem
peaceful.
with Americans. They're
So
oppressed by
being loud
money.
like this,
They're oppressed by
being
money.
loud like this is just as ugly as what you're saying this
Let me
is.
talk and I'll
Being
let
loud
you
is
hear you.
just as
Let me
ugly.
talk and I'll hear you.
So if we talk like